dive a little bit deeper into how you used running as trauma recovery.
It's the only time that I can get my mind to shut up. And now I know that's because of ADHD. It's always going. There's always something running in the background. There's three or four of me having conversations with myself inside of my head.
Wow.
And when I run, once about like a mile and a half, a little more, my brain shuts off. It's just the breathing, the sound of my feet just kind of turns into almost a meditation for me.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I can let everything else go and just
Hmm.
feel what I need to feel while I run.
Welcome, everybody, to Running Strong Mind Body Connection. And I'm your host, Karen Bonnet-Natraj, as usual, right? And I'm just so excited to bring you these episodes and just having fun sharing my stories, new people I'm meeting, and sharing them with you. So, this podcast really was born from my deep belief that true strength doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from aligning your mind and your body in flow and not in fight. So each week we dive into what it really means to live and lead from the inside out with powerful tools to help you shift from self sabotage to self love, from anxiety to clarity, and from stress to sustainability. We even explored in my last podcast about forgiveness. So go back and listen to the last podcast with Glenn Beachy. Anyways, you're going to hear some more inspiring stories from expert insights and practical wisdom from runners, coaches, nutritionists, healers, everyday warriors who face these challenges, found resilience, and claimed breakthrough on their own terms. So I'm just super excited to bring my next guest coming up. So whether you're chasing a finish line, recovering from burnout, or simply craving a deeper connection to your mind and body and purpose, this is your space to grow, laugh, heal, and run strong in your life. So ready to build your mental fitness, take that first step towards your more peace, power, and presence. Visit my website at the Mental Fitness Edge. Take this or take the saboteur assessment because you want to know what's your saboteurs, what your inner critic is telling you, and together we will create a positive environment. So, and if you or someone you know has a powerful story of mind and body transformation, I'd love to hear from you. Let's keep building this community of strength, connection, and transformation. So, today my guest will be Bunni Ambrosia. So let's dive in pretty soon. All right, everybody, we are diving into this podcast today, and I'm going to have this amazing guest today. This is going to be a fun podcast. I'm with Bunni Ambrosia. So get this. I just love this thing. She's a trucker. Can you believe it? Oh, you're going to have fun with this podcast. She's a life coach, a runner, and currently training for another marathon. Right on, girl. But you know the challenges she has? She said, tells me she has ADHD and fibromyalgia. So she's been running for 15 years now, and it's become how she manages chronic pain, processing trauma, and proved to herself daily of how strong she is. And yes, I'm going to give her tons of kudos of how strong she is. I'm going to let her share her mantras, which would be very inspiring for my guests to hear. And so, Bunni, welcome to Running Strong Mind Body Connection podcast. Super
Thank
excited
you.
to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
So Bunni is actually, this is on YouTube. If you guys can kind of like check it out, she's in her truck broadcasting this. So that is pretty cool. That is super cool. And I was just sharing with her my travels from here to Flagstaff, how many truckers we come across and how many women I am seeing driving trucks, and the power to you, girl.
Thank
So
you.
let's dive in. Bunny, let's have you share a little bit about you and kind of brief history, and let's dive into your, oh my gosh, how running has helped your trauma, how it's helped your, I mean, what you do, how do you fit running in? We have lots of questions we can ask. So
Right?
please share yourself with us.
Yeah. So I was raised in the South. I was a child bride. I was a widow at 17,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
sing- and a brand new mom. I have a almost 23-year-old now daughter who's amazing. She's the one that got me into running. Her Girls on the Run was a program at her school.
Yeah.
And then I've lost I had a stillborn for my first child, and then I've lost my husband, my brother, now my father, and several friends and running is how I get through that for sure.
Wow. 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 There's a lot of grief in your life. And that's just curious. I mean, so how have you managed that grief? I mean, that's a lot to impact on a person's life.
It is. It is. There were several years that I did not manage it, but my daughter started getting bigger and asking questions and needing me to be more present with her, and that started my journey to healing.
Oh, that's cool.
Went to therapy, got a gym membership. Then that's when my brother passed. He died of suicide.
Oh,
And I had just been at the gym maybe 2 months. And I'm so glad that I had that because I was able to like take out my anger for the situation at the
right.
gym. That was much healthier than finding another way to self-medicate.
Right. Wow, that's tough. And then on top of that, you lost your husband before or after that?
Before he had
Wow.
passed while I was in labor,
Oh, what happened with him?
he had a heart attack.
Oh, so your daughter's 23 now?
Yes. Well, she'll be 23 the end of the month.
Okay. This month? Okay. So this is being recorded in December of 25. So this will be airing in February of 26. So
So she will be 23. Yes.
nice, nice, nice. Dive a little bit deeper into how you used running as trauma recovery.
It's the only time that I can get my mind to shut up. And now I know that's because of ADHD. It's always going. There's always something running in the background. There's 3 or 4 of me having conversations with myself inside of my head.
Wow.
And when I run, once about like a mile and a half, a little more, my brain shuts off. It's just the breathing, the sound of my feet kind of turns into almost a meditation for me.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I can let everything else go and just
Mhm.
feel what I need to feel while I run.
Good for you. And so, have you ran a marathon? You ran a marathon already, and what are you training for now?
I did my first marathon was the LA marathon, a lot of fun. And now I was hoping to be able to make it to this LA marathon in March, but I'm actually not going to make that one. So I'm going to do grandma's in Duluth, Minnesota.
Are you driving there? Is this because of your work?
My company is a sponsor for grandma's.
Oh, really? Nice. Good for you. So is your daughter going to run it with you?
No,
Okay. Does she
no,
run?
she got me started running and then she quit. She did. She this past summer she has started like jogging a little bit around, and she just got a gym membership. So maybe she'll start running again.
Very cool. So, how has the running impacted the fibromyalgia and the ADHD?
Like I said, with the ADHD, it's the only thing that shuts my brain up, and so I can focus on things, like really work through. That's how I find like the topics for my book and like really deep dive into some chapters. I can think really clearly while I'm running. And then I became vegan and started running like really intensely around the same time. And that was shortly after my fibro diagnosis. And I was around a 8.5, 9 on the pain scale every day, all day when I got diagnosed. And within 2.5, 3 weeks of being vegan, I was down to a 4 every day that fast, which was amazing.
Sure.
And that let me be able to do more things. And as that became my baseline, I was able to go to the gym more. And I was living in Minnesota, so you can only run outside. Well, some people run outside all year. I'm not built like that. So I was back in the gym, and it just the stronger I got and the more endurance that I built up, my pain kept going down. And now maybe a 2. If I change an elevation, maybe I'll get up to a 4 some days, but I rarely have flares anymore. It's beautiful.
Nice. Good for you. Do you juice as well? Yeah, and
I try to.
yeah,
I don't have a sink in the truck, so it's
right.
hard to like have a blender or anything.
Do you do overnight things in driving? I mean, how do you
I
fit your running in as a trucker?
So for I plan where I'm going to park each night, and I'll look on Google Satellite, to see where I can get in the right number of miles and if it looks safe to run there.
Sure.
find a good path to go, or if there's somewhere that I could maybe Uber to that's pretty close that looks like a fun trail, I
Yeah.
can get and go. And then I plan that usually for in the morning, but sometimes that doesn't work out.
Okay. I was curious how truckers, fit that into, because you have long hauls or you have time schedules, and it's not like being in an office to where
Right.
you can get up and take a break and you know where you're at, and you know where but you've probably got this pretty well dialed in of
Now,
your system. How long have you been a trucker?
since 2019,
Okay. Wow. And what got you into that?
a divorce. My ex-husband told me that I couldn't leave him because I would never make as much as him. And now I make almost 3 times what he makes.
Is that like a very strong attitude? Is I stand in your own power and I can do this?
Oh,
Is
yes,
that,
I can do all things through spite.
but we still need to do it through love. We still need, you'll have more energy
For
doing it through
myself.
love.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
yes, yes,
yes.
yes. So what are share your mantras that
Oh,
fuel you
can't
through?
stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. That anytime. If I come up to a hill that is too tall, can't stop, won't stop. If I have an emotion that's too big, can't stop, won't stop, right? And then also, I'm strong, be strong, to remind me that I can get through this.
Yeah,
I've done it before, I can do it again. I
right.
also recently got this tattoo, which says, it's written backwards. I don't know how if you can read it, but it's the
I,
dark doth not fear night.
say that
And I'm
again.
the dark doth not fear night.
Okay.
And I got it written backwards so that I can read it in the mirror to
Okay.
remind me that I have been through hard things. I can get through hard things.
Right. So how do you manage being in the present moment, not allowing those past thoughts come into you, keep sabotaging you?
I have spent a lot of time crafting my life to where I want it to be now, and running and having that time to clear everything out and have quiet time in my head really gives me a good baseline nowadays. And when I feel it coming up again, I add more meditation. I try to meditate every night. Maybe I'll do it in the morning too. I make sure that I'm going to bed on time. That's a big one for me, to be able to keep myself happy and grounded and healthy. That really helps keep the negativity and the little bad voice in the back of my head from coming out very much.
Yeah, so you have a comment here, the mental game of marathon training for neurodivergent athletes. Can you expand on that?
Yes, I have found that especially with ADHD, that it is hard to keep a schedule. There's something shiny over here that I want to go try, or I can't run until I have this new pretty pair of shoes, or whatever distraction. And so knowing that, being able to plan in the distractions to my workouts, and like knowing that I need to keep spicing it up helps for me because I'm driving. I'm in a different place every day. So that keeps my runs really interesting.
Oh, for sure.
For someone that isn't, go a different direction outside or
Right.
drive to the next neighborhood, whatever. Just know that you need to keep it spicy for yourself and plan that in.
That's awesome. So, do you run in trails or do you run the streets or do you run?
Both.
Okay. And what's the longest you've ever ran?
28.2 miles.
For almost a 50K.
I was, I wanted to get to 30 and I twisted my ankle.
You'll have to try it again.
Yes, my big goal is the Western States 100.
Oh, right on, girl. So you have to qualify for that.
I know, so I have to do some more before that, but
Yes, you do. And
I'm,
we live like 2 miles from the finish line. I have a
Mhm.
great 2017 Western States story that you can find online if you look up the 2017 Western States finishers.
I
And
will.
I have my listeners know this. I have a lot of 100 miles under my belt. And if you want to qualify for one that would be good is the Javelina 100 or the Rio del Lago. I would say Javelina 100 is a great first 100 because there's a lot of people. It's super supported. It's a fun party. And you just have to get through running loops, which is they're five loops, but they're big loops.
Mhm.
And it's just really a perfect first 100. So
Nice. I
if
will add
you,
that list of possibility.
yeah, that'll be a good qualifier for Western States. You better start in it soon because getting into Western States is quite the challenge.
I made the mistake of reading Dean Karnazes
Uh-huh.
when I got back into running, and that's why I'm like, I have to do the Western States 100. That's where that came from.
So what inspired you in that book? What was it about that is going to put that on your bucket list?
I also lost a sibling really young, and so I felt connected to him like that.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you're
My
a
brother,
pretty, go ahead.
he lost his sister when she was 18, and I lost my brother when he was 21.
I gotcha. Okay. So great connection. So tell us more about how you, let's see, your questions. What have you discovered about yourself in running? And there's a gift, I don't know, there's something special about you of this strength because you've had so many people around you pass for whatever reasons, for very traumatic reasons. And I want to say kind of like why you, but you are probably super spiritually strong because there's a message that needs to be sent out there on the strength that you have. So, what have you discovered deeper about you?
I have learned that I don't have to have the answer right now. That's a big one. By having the time to put into myself running and listening to myself and being really in tune with my body on a new level it's made it so that I know like rest is not something that needs to be earned. Like that's part of my training.
Right.
And that applies to life too. Like I have to take a step back and I don't have to know which way the trail is going to go to be able to get through it.
So, you bring that sense of curiosity and
I try
adventure.
to.
Yeah.
I try to stay curious all the time.
Which is a great place to be because it keeps us open to what's next in our life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so what's next in our life is I've had this is meeting you and then the person who was on the podcast last week out of the blue. And having my podcast started from like, can I do this to now it's like I'm getting some amazing people that show up on my podcast that I have never met but have great stories. And that's what I try to drive is let's have great stories and hear about these people who live life actually.
Mm-hmm.
We're just the amateur athletes. We're just the amateur person. We're not the professionals and the elites and all that, but we are people. And this group of people is a huge population of doing great things, conquering from great, challenges in our life. And so that's a great avenue to be. And I really appreciate you reaching out to be on this podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what is your coaching? What do you do for coaching?
It started out as transitional coaching
Uh-huh.
because I had thought about it before 2020 because I have a lot of unique experiences, right? I thought that I could help a lot of people depending on what they were going through because I've probably kind of been through it. And then I thought I would truck for a little while and I would save up and I would get an office, because I felt like you had to have somewhere to have them come to you to have clients. But then the plague happened and everything shut down and everything went
Online.
virtual, you know. I was like, I can do it virtually.
Right?
So that's where it started. And then I was like marketing to people going through a big transition, like
Yeah.
a divorce or grief, a job change, empty nesters, big life things to help them get from point A to point B.
Right.
And then I was diagnosed with ADHD and now ADHD and autism, both. And so I've kind of been leaning that direction. It's still pretty transitional. It's where I am most of the time.
Sure. I think I have met in a group that I was part of, this one coach coached 8 people with ADHD. And now exactly how he did, I can't repeat that because I wouldn't want to discredit him but he had it. And so that's where his clients are, our clients with ADHD. So that's pretty cool. Sometimes we coach so I am a mental fitness and peak performance coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I take people from that self-sabotage to that self-success and from anxious to awesome. So And I work with a lot of athletes. And my athletes are amateur athletes. They're the average person out there because we take on so many things. We work all day long. You drive a truck all day long, and how
Mhm.
we manage that and our families and our jobs and our life and all that stuff. And then the chatter that goes on in the brain. I mean, how is there a time when you're trucking along, it's like, oh, I don't even feel like running today. The weather's horrible out there. I'm not going to go out there.
Of course. It happens regularly,
Yeah,
but you just have to do it. They can't stop, won't stop. Like, I have to do it.
yeah,
It's not an option.
that's true. Well, it is an option. We always have a choice, but the choices we make, and
Well,
those are the healthier choices that we make.
right.
And you know
My choice is that it has to happen.
yeah,
Like, I'm choosing that I can't stop.
that's good. So, what powerful message would you want to leave the guests, leave our people?
Mm, there's so much. I think I would say again that rest is not a reward. You really have to take care of you and plan out who you want to be to get there.
Beautiful. And really agree with you. Rest is so important. That's how our body recovers.
Yes. Trucking is actually how I really grasp that because I have to, even though I work 70 hours a week trucking, I have to take off for 10 hours straight and I have to take a 30-minute lunch, period. Like legally, I have to. And so having the regularness of that made me reflect on how it affects more points in my life.
Sure. I told you we drive from here to Flagstaff on 40, and a lot of the East people that are driving, you can tell when they're in prayer. There's a time of day they stop. I don't remember if they're out of their truck. It might be, but they're in prayer. And I love that. I love the fact that because prayer is the conduit of just positive, loving energy. And it's double the impact of us taking care of the me in us, in each of us, right? Taking care of
Yes,
me. So, well, good for you. And when is your marathon?
in June.
In June. Oh, perfect weather.
Yes. Yeah, especially because it's in Duluth. Not right now. That's for sure.
Well, good for you, Bunny. And thank you so much for being on the Running Strong Mind Body podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate it.